All right, everyone. We are back for episode 28 of Stub Love Live. Now, I must have gotten all carried away and all kinds of crazy last week because I told everybody that it was episode 29 and it was really episode 27. So here I see Matt's coming on. We got Matt Miller on tonight. We'll be talking about movie tickets. Let me get him on. See Scott Forker on, All-Star Jeff, collection buyouts, wheelers, and we got a lot of people on. There he is.
Hey, Howard.
Hey, how are you, Matt?
I'm doing awesome, man. How about you?
I'm doing really well. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm really happy to have
Yeah,
you.
I'm excited to be on. Thanks for reaching out and letting me share.
Yeah. I see Doug Valicki's on, Beer Aficionado. I'm always excited to see Doug. So, Matt, we're going to talk a little bit about movie tickets, something that, I've dabbled in a little bit, but I don't know all that much about. And I think a lot of people in the ticket collecting community, they've probably collected a movie ticket or two or three or four, but maybe there are some questions that they have. So hopefully you can answer some of that. So first of all, tell us, how did you start collecting tickets?
I was a card collector. I've collected cards three different times in my life. I was collecting in the 70s, uh, then again in the early 90s before I got married, and then started collecting again during the pandemic. And I had fun. It brought back a lot of memories. It was something I really enjoyed doing. But as the hobby began to change, as the printing presses started to run more and more and more, as rarity became manufactured in that world, with the one of ones or the one of tens or whatever, I just decided that I wanted to get out because I didn't like the direction that it was heading. I didn't want to be, chasing the latest rookie and speculating, kind of like fantasy football or sports or whatever. And so I was looking for something that I could get excited about, didn't have to worry about all of that, but also something that allowed me to kind of go back in my history, and collect a lot of the stuff that I've been impacted by or exposed to or experienced in my life. So got turned on to tickets. I think actually Mike Violi at the Dallas Card Show was the one that kind of, um, he had a table set up, and I went to see the show for the first time, and I was like, man, this ticket thing's kind of cool. And then either he or somebody mentioned the Boogers Facebook group, and from there I jumped in and have been hooked. Believe it or not, I've only been doing this 2 years and 8 months.
Wow.
So it hasn't been that long in the whole scheme of things, but I've gotten pretty far in that period of time.
That damn Mike Violi, he gets us all.
Doggone
He's the
it, Mike.
yeah, dang Mike and Sean too. I know you were watching Talking Tickets and listening to their show like everyone does, and they kind of hook you. They bring you in, and you start to talk about these things, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, it's really rare, more than rare, it's scarce,
Yeah.
and on top of it being scarce, it just brings you back, just like you did for me too. Brings me back to memories of my childhood and things like that. So let's transition a little bit, Matt, because we can talk about tickets all night long, but we want to focus in on our talk and discussion tonight. Movie tickets. So I see Sean Doherty on. We just were bad mouthing you, Sean, if you didn't hear. So haha.
That
But
was
we've
Howard,
got
Sean. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
just teasing. We have world premiere tickets. These are movie tickets. World premieres. We have U.S. premiere. We have U.K. premiere. We have the actual ticket stubs that people use to go to actually see the movies when they were in the theaters. So you have like opening night, and then opening weekend, and then opening week, and then you've got these Japanese tickets, and I have a few. I think they're really really cool. I don't know much about them, so tell us a little bit, educate the audience and people who are going to watch in the future about movie tickets.
So first off, as you mentioned, there's a lot of different opportunities to collect, and it's really up to each individual where they want to focus. Um, I've chosen. I came from a family of artists, and because of that fact, um, the better looking the ticket, the more artistic it is, the more excited I get. And so because of that, I haven't been able to get really excited about the little squares that we all take to the movie theater. Um, and so that's why the Japanese tickets, that's why the US screenings and premieres and other premieres have been so exciting, because they're essentially a movie poster in ticket size. Um, the thing about the Japanese tickets is you can find just about any movie you could ever want. And so the thing that I've really enjoyed doing, after you kind of get past the fact that, there's Japanese writing on them. By the way, pull out Google Translate, take a picture, and you can read whatever you want on that ticket,
Wow.
right on your phone. But anyway, um, I got excited about collecting actors and their movies, like many people collect, players, either their tickets or their cards. And so as an example, I'm in the middle of a Clint Eastwood movie run right now in my Japanese tickets. I think he's been a part of either acted, directed, produced like 86 movies in his lifetime.
Wow.
He's the GOAT when it comes to Hollywood, in my opinion. Anyway, I think I've got 55 or 60 of his movie tickets. And you can't do that with US stuff. You just can't. There's not enough of it out there. But with Japanese stuff, at least for the newer stuff, there's enough of it to where you can do those types of things and collect them, just like the others I mentioned. Um, as far as the US stuff, the stuff you're going to find the most of is like the screenings, like the advanced screenings, to where it's not necessarily the premiere when the movie is first released to the world, or to the US, but they're a smaller event or screening that is offered in most cases before the movie actually comes out in the theaters, whether it be for charity groups or a lot of them happen in LA and around Hollywood, just to help get the word out, to get the press to see the movie, to start getting reviews written and all that. There's a fairly decent number of those that are out there. And as far as US, those are probably the ones that are the easiest to get your hands on. Some of the world premiere stuff is significantly harder to
Okay.
come up with,
Okay.
and significantly more prized because of that. Of course, some movies premiere in the US, some movies premiere in the UK. Harry Potter, James Bond, those were premiering in the UK. Many of the others came from Hollywood, and because of that, they premiere typically, in the States somewhere, and in most cases, somewhere in LA or in Hollywood. Um, and then, of course, you've got the stuff like you mentioned, the opening night, the opening week, that type of thing, which we all might very well have been to. I just know for me, I've never, I have two tickets in my collection that I have found that I held on to in my 58 years of life. I just was never that guy that threw my tickets in a box somewhere or whatever, like some do. And so I just don't have all those.
Yeah.
And so and because I can't look at it and see an image from the movie or whatever, not that I'm sure there isn't a viable market there for those tickets. It's just not something that
Not
excites me like some
Not
of
for
the
you.
other stuff.
I understand. And it's funny, we'll bring up Mike Violi again. Mike likes what a ticket looks like. Whether it's a sports ticket or a concert ticket, if it's the season ticket version of a ticket and it's got, a great picture on it versus, a Ticketmaster ticket or something that's real generic. I agree with him. I'm less inclined to go chase that. So if someone said to me, I could have a movie ticket from some random theater on the opening night of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I have to be honest with you, Matt, I probably want it because it's cool. But if it was a little square stub that just had some numbers on it and it said, Ferris, eh,
Right.
not really my thing. Whereas the beautiful artistic premiere tickets and the Japanese tickets, like you said, almost like mini sized movie posters. I mean, they're incredible looking and real eye appealing and catch people's attention. Um, I saw a good question that came in. I don't know if I can scroll down. I'm going to try to, but I don't want to mess this up. Oh, I can. Memorabilia Vault. And I've seen that he's watched a bunch, so I appreciate him watching. It says, do the Japanese tickets have assigned seats, or are they typically a general admission? And then does it make a
There
difference?
are some theaters that do assigned seating. You'll find that the assigned seating is actually written in on the
Yeah.
tickets. Um, I don't know the specific names of the theaters. I haven't gotten into that much detail, but the reality is some of them are assigned. Most of them, though, I think are general seating. But what I understand is different about the Japanese is in most cases, they are buying the ticket in advance. So
So,
you'll
so
see some that are
we we
slabbed.
we 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 talked a little bit about that in advance of coming on. You and I chatted. You said there's advance tickets, and then you said there are something called invitation postcards.
Yes.
So
So
educate us, Mr. Miller. Educate us.
now, guys, I've never been to Japan, though I hope to go real soon. So I may have some of this not quite dead on. But as I understand it from my conversations with some of my contacts over there, you've got the invitation postcard, which is an actual postcard, which is inviting a select group of people to come to, I guess, like a Japanese premiere or a Japanese advanced screening. Okay. And then there's the advanced tickets, which are just the general population tickets that you buy to go to the movie. Those aren't for an advanced screening. Some people on eBay are trying to sell them as that in the slabs. As I understand it, that's not the case. Just we can walk into the theater and buy a ticket right then and there and walk right on in. As I understand it, and I think it must be because of the number of theaters that are available and the number of seats, people have to kind of buy them advance, similar to what we do with sporting events here in the US. And so a lot of those tickets that you see on eBay or in other places that say advance ticket, what it means is they bought it in advance and then they took it to the theater and used it.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So most of what we're seeing on eBay that are the Japanese tickets that are so beautiful, those are really the advanced tickets.
Yes.
Gotcha. Gotcha. What are your thoughts? I mean, well, why don't we do this? Why don't you do some show and tell? Everyone likes to see stuff. We've been talking for 13 minutes, and you've got some really cool movie tickets. So show our listeners and watchers what you've got.
Just to give you guys an idea, I think I've got about 500 slabbed movie tickets and probably a couple thousand total.
What's your what,
And most of that,
what's your wife think about that, Matt?
I've got an office outside of the house that I keep most of the stuff in, or they get kept in a safe deposit box at the bank. Um,
I'm
so
just
anyway,
yeah, just teasing.
um, one of my favorites to collect is Star Wars, and the basic movies. The advanced tickets are pretty easy to get, but there's some that are super rare that are really really cool. Like this is one here. Um, that it's just it's episode 4, so it's a new hope, but it's a different version for a specific movie theater in Japan. This one here is The Empire Strikes Back. Once again, just very unique design, not like any of the other ones that you can see pretty commonly or find pretty commonly online. um, let's see, for the Clint Eastwood fans out there, Dirty Harry. This is one of only 2 Dirty Harrys I've seen in the last 3 years, and I've got people actually out looking for them in Japan, and there's only a couple that I've come across. So these are ultra rare, and of course one of the movies that Clint is best known for.
That is
Um,
that is so cool, Matt. That is awesome.
let's see. This is the movie Play Misty for me back in 1971. This was Clint Eastwood's directorial debut. So it's
Wow.
the very first movie he ever directed. This one is from 1970, Two Mules for Sister Sarah. This is one of those spaghetti westerns that he was in early in his
Yeah.
career. And then 1972, Joe Kidd. Once again, these are the only ones of each of these that I've seen or found up to this point. A lot of the other early, or newer Eastwood tickets you can find pretty readily.
Wow.
Um,
Those are
as
awesome.
far as here's another thing that's cool about the Japanese tickets. There's a lot of different variations that you can come across for different movies. So one of the big movies in the 60s was Easy Rider. So here's one version of Easy Rider. And then here's two others, just different color schemes and different imagery. So you can even, you can go, movie series, but then you can also find different versions of the different movies and collect those. I like doing a little bit of both. When it comes to when it comes to US, this is my absolute favorite. Um, this is an advanced screening for Jaws
That, that's
from
so cool.
1976. Now, little funny story. My mom and dad let my cousin and I was 8, my cousin was 9. They let us go to see Jaws in the theater. We were impacted. Have been impacted for life. So that's
Exactly why you don't go swim in the ocean, right?
yeah, exactly. That's one of those cool
Hey,
tickets,
can I
though.
can
And
I before you show something else, I want to just take a time out. What is a someone saying I want the Jaws ticket? I want the Jaws ticket. I mean, it's pretty cool. But let me ask you this: what's something like that go for? Give us some. What are those Clint Eastwood, those rare tickets? What's that Dirty Harry go for?
well, I mean, I got it, I think, for $400 or $500, but that it wasn't slabbed, obviously, and it's coming from Japan, and they don't understand our market, and we don't necessarily understand theirs. So what is the value? I mean, what does somebody want to pay for it? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's one of the challenges with some of the slabbing of these in the market is so new. In fact, to be honest, I've pioneered a lot of this with the submissions that I've done over the last year and a half with PSA, because there wasn't really anybody slabbing this stuff.
yeah,
And not that people haven't been collecting it off and on, but I'll be honest with you, Howard, I love the sports stuff. And some of the big sports tickets I will own someday. Someday I will have a Jackie debut. Day I will have an Aaron called shot. I will have those tickets as well. But when I got started, they were unreachable for me. So I was looking for some place that I could go and do something really cool and kind of be a trendsetter that I could afford. And the movie world and starting with the Japanese tickets was possible because everything is very, very reasonable as
yeah,
far as that's concerned.
yeah.
Um, this is a this is an international preview of The Deep
Wow,
for
they're
those
so
of you that
cool.
remember
Yeah.
that movie. Um,
I've seen one, and I think you mentioned that you have it. I don't want to take you out of order if you have it in an order, but the Pee Wee Herman ticket. I don't know if you.
right here.
I mean, can you turn it? Yeah. I mean, that's just so cool. Can we see the back too? Yeah, super cool.
I mean, a die cut, 1985, and this is a world premiere. Let's see, another
What
world.
what's what? Do you have any idea what the pop on that is, Matt?
It's one. Most of these, the pop's one. I mean, not that there aren't others out there. It's just nobody is. If anybody's got them, they haven't sent them to PSA. So I'm kind of the one.
Yeah.
um, here's let's see. Here's the first Batman, 1989, Michael Keaton. This is just a screening ticket. This is actually the very first U.S. movie ticket that I bought. A little over a year ago, and it snowballed from there. This is a world premiere of Batman and Robin. and it's actually signed on the back by George Clooney, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
pretty cool.
let's see, premiere of Superman, the first Superman.
Wow.
There's a the pop on this one is 3. Uh, so there have been some others that have been slabbed.
And Matt, you said you're sure there's some out there, but are we so sure there's some out
Well,
there? I
you would
mean, do
think
we know of?
so, but the reality is a movie theater is, a fraction of the number of seats of a sports stadium, you know? And
Sure.
so the reality is there aren't that many compared to a lot of these sports tickets that people are collecting. Um, we just haven't been into it long enough to know what there are. But you got to realize a lot, especially in Hollywood, this stuff is commonplace for them. You and I would get excited about attending a premiere or something. These guys are a lot of these people are getting invited daily to these
Yeah.
things. And so I'm sure a lot of this stuff is getting thrown away because it's nothing to them. They're in that world, they're in that industry, they don't know anything different. It's nothing exciting like it is to us.
Matt, do you have, because just so that we can show, and I don't know if you have one or not, do you have any of those invitation postcards so we can show someone?
Uh
If you don't, that's okay. That's okay.
I,
I know
I
what
I
you're
don't have
talking
any here with me in the stacks because to be honest, I haven't gotten any slabbed yet. Um, I've got probably 300 or 400 of them. I just didn't think to bring
That's
any
okay.
in
That's
here.
okay.
So,
That's okay.
but it's an actual postcard. It's got the imagery of the movie on the front, and then on the back has the address area and all that stuff, and the details about what they're being invited to or whatever.
It's funny. Someone asked here, what do you think about the difference of a full ticket versus a stub? When it's those square stubs, when it comes to like going into a theater for like opening night or opening weekend. Um, I don't know. I mean, you'd probably have to sneak past the dude that was ripping the tickets in order to have a full. And it was awful hard when I grew up to get past that dude with anything. So
I mean,
yeah,
I think a full would be more desirable if you have it.
sure.
I know a lot of the theaters today are having trouble paying the rent, so the reality is, that challenge doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
There's normally not somebody tearing the tickets like there used to be, but I think if you could get a full versus a stub, I think definitely that would have more desirability.
Yeah. I saw Tickets to History join us, so thank you. I see Justin Sutterfield's in the house, which is always nice. Connor Shapiro from Ticket Craze. He's a good dude, good collector. So show us a few more, and then I have some other questions for you, and then we'll wrap it up, Matt.
So this is a screening to the first Harry Potter.
Wow.
Um,
What pop report of a 1 you're thinking?
I'd have to look. It is a 7, which is really, really high, as you know, for tickets. I'd have to scan it to know.
Okay.
I'm sure there aren't many, and this version, it may be the only one. There's some other versions out there.
I see that. I see that Home Alone creeping up. That's awesome.
Yeah, Home Alone is pretty cool.
Very
Uh, you know, Wayne's World. I, I don't have Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, but I have their Bogus Journey. Um, I'll get an Excellent Adventure eventually. And then here's all the sports guys that are on here. Rudy.
Yeah, it's a great
Um,
one. Yeah.
these are all pop ones. Once again, I'm sure there's more out there. It's just all that's created right now.
So,
Uh,
asking. Someone's asking Matt. Oh, that's a great one. To Jerry Maguire. Stubs for life. He's asking, are these mostly buys from eBay or auction houses, or where are you getting these things?
a little bit of both, and it's interesting. I've begun to develop relationships with some of the people I've gotten this stuff from. Like I just got a Superman 3 world premiere ticket from a lady, and her dad was the producer on the first two Superman movies. So she had all kinds of history she was sharing with me. She sent some other collateral along with it, just because it brought back some really cool memories for her. And it's cool to have a chance to talk to her about it. Another one I just got a hold of is the ET UK charity premiere. Now, here's what's different. Here's what's cool about that ticket. Um, the charity event was hosted by Charles and Lady Di, and
Very cool.
and the program that comes along with it talks about all that. It's got pictures of them and all that. So just one of those movies that came at that point in time when they were married and she was still alive and in royalty. Um,
Very cool. Very, very cool.
Gladiator is another.
Oh yeah, that's
You know.
awesome.
Um,
Yeah.
anyway,
Justin's calling you the movie ticket king.
thanks,
Justin, he's a
Justin.
pioneer. He's not just the king, he's a pioneer, dude.
I've
We got
I've gotten a couple.
pioneers on Stub Love
I've gotten
Live.
a couple from Justin. I got a Conan the Destroyer ticket. I got a couple Howard Stern private parts from Justin. So, and he's gotten some from me too. So we've traded some stuff back and forth in that way.
So Matt, what do you think is the next big thing in movie tickets? Like where do you see the big growth?
To be honest, Howard, I think it's just an awareness.
Okay.
Uh, you
Just
know,
people tuning in and getting involved and starting
yeah,
to collect.
yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to come on and get a chance to share is because I a lot of people just kind of follow what everybody else is doing, and that's fine. I've always been the guy that looks the direction everybody else is going, and I go the opposite way. That's the way I've lived my life. And so this is just me, once again, personality wise, doing what I've always done and doing something that's completely natural to me. Um, and I'm just excited. There's so much opportunity. There's because most people aren't even paying attention to it right now. Um, Question tickets to
Yeah.
history about the movie tickets. They look like little credit cards, but they do still have tickets for the majority of the movies in Japan still. They're just not the paper tickets that that they had for
Do
most
they have the
of their history.
cool images on it or not?
Yeah, it's just smaller.
Okay.
Um,
Cool.
it's literally the size of a credit card or a driver's
Yeah.
license.
Yeah. Very cool. I see Shields collects on. Shields, Brian Shields, a good guy. So Matt, you've also set up at some card shows with tickets, even with your movie tickets. And I know because I listen to talking tickets like you do, and Mike Violi's on there saying he's always around the Dallas Card Show, and you're setting up, and he said a lot of people are gravitating to your table because of the artwork on the tickets. Even more maybe than sports tickets because it catches their eye, it catches their attention. What are you seeing at the shows? Are people buying tickets? Are they just tire kicking? What's
I
selling?
think the challenge that I've seen, and Mike has seen this too, is just the fact that most people are there for cards.
Mm,
And so over time, I started to have people that were regular customers that would come back. And then there's some people that are just like, this is so cool. And they end up buying. I don't know if a card show is necessarily the right venue. Um, Maybe more of like a fan con or a comic con or something like that. But I haven't been to those events, haven't set up. I'm having more fun, doing some selling online and doing stuff online, and it kind of fits my schedule right now. Um, but
no
the,
offense to Allen, Texas, but probably not. I mean, sounds like those people for the Dallas Card Show are going there for cards. This is very niche, and you're going to be able to sell some things here and there to select buyers. But truly, I think if you did set up with this stuff at a Comic Con in New York or in LA or somewhere else, you could do really, really phenomenally with this
the
stuff.
the thing is, I've had a lot of people, especially with the sports tickets, they can't get past the fact, well, I wasn't at that event. And so because they weren't at that event, they don't want the ticket, not realizing that it is history that occurred that this ticket is representing, whether we were at the event or not. The thing about the tickets is most people at least went to the movie. It might not have been the movie ticket that they had in their hand that they went in with, but I find that the walls, the barriers come down with the movie stuff a little bit more because they're more universal. There's more people that that have been to those and have those different movies that had an impact on their life, you know, as they've
I,
been.
I got to tell you, man, if you had that Pee Wee Herman ticket in, you know, your showcase or that Dirty Harry ticket in your showcase, it's absolutely stopping me. Well, let's run the gauntlet. I want to run the gauntlet with Matt Miller. I know you've got some other stuff there. We're going about 30 minutes. Why don't you show a few more and then we'll run the gauntlet. Grab your two, you know, knockouts there and let's see.
I've just got a couple more.
Yep.
Another cool thing I love about the Japanese stuff, Howard, is you can collect all the Disney movies. So many of us are Disney fans, and you can literally collect anything Disney. Here's a couple that are older that I absolutely love. This is the Jungle Book from
Really
1967, which was
cool.
which was the year I was born. Um, this is you know, Robin Hood,
That's so cool.
you know, from 1973.
It's
Um,
really
I, I
cool.
um, and then this is one of the greatest movies of all time, and I've got 5 or 6 different versions of this. Ben-Hur.
Crazy. Who thought they were going to see a Ben-Hur Japanese ticket? Only
I,
on Stub Love Live, man. You only get that on Stub Love Live.
one of the coolest ones that I've got is 1958, the Ten Commandments.
Huh. Charlton Heston.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's just some really really cool stuff. The other thing I love about the movie stuff is it's gotten me, because we've got access to all these movies streaming for the most part. It's been really cool to go back and start to watch some of these that maybe I never saw or I haven't seen for a long time. I've got a huge Richard Dreyfuss collection of U.S. tickets as well as Japanese, and my wife and I have systematically gone back to watch his movies. You know, Always, Jaws. I watched that one by myself again. Um, uh, uh, oh,
Yeah.
Stakeout,
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
Stakeout, Mr. Holland's Opus,
Yeah.
incredible movie. A Goodbye Girl and Mr. Holland's Opus, he won Oscars in both of those.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can do that kind of stuff and relive some of that and go deeper with some of that now because we can access those movies online, and then of course have the filmography on Wikipedia, you know, that you can go to and kind of line by line see what's out there and seek out the tickets to collect, and then of course be able to
Yeah.
watch the movies as well.
It's really cool to talk to you, Matt, because I see, you know, the passion kind of coming off you. You love talking about it. You can just tell, you know, it's a big thing for you. So it's always nice to talk to passionate collectors. I like doing that. So let's run the gauntlet. We'll do it a little bit and get you out of here. We appreciate your time. So stub or full?
For movie tickets, full.
Yeah, I think so. The artwork's so great. How can you not have a full? PSA, Beckett, or no slab at all? And I saw some PSAs and I saw some Beckett's.
Yeah, now that Steve Lee's at PSA. Though I do have a few tickets like the Grease ticket that you and I talked about, the world premiere. It's too big to fit anything PSA, so I'll go to Beckett for that because I think they've got a slab big enough.
Okay, very cool. A PSA 10 ticket or a PSA Pop 1 ticket?
Pop one.
Yeah, rarity, scarcity. Which would you rather have, the Gone with the Wind premiere ticket or the first Star Wars premiere ticket?
Hands down, the first Star Wars.
Why is it hands down? Because Gone with the Wind's, you know, big deal.
Because Star Wars is everywhere. Disney, whether we like it or not, is continuing that and growing that world, that universe, and very few people are still alive, if any, to see the first Gone with the Wind came out. But a large percentage of the population has experienced Star Wars and was there when the first movie came out.
Movie popcorn, no butter, butter, extra butter.
Extra, why not?
Why not?
Even though it's not real butter, it's
Right. That's true too. Would you rather have a Ferris Bueller opening night movie ticket or the Ferris Bueller game Cubs ticket, the actual game when it was filmed?
the game. I'm with Darren Ravel on that one.
Yeah, I think I am too. I think I am too. Couple of quick questions. I'm going to test your knowledge a little bit. If you don't get them, it's no worries. Do you know the movie, the year, the location of the first movie premiere ever?
No clue.
Robin Hood, 1922, Grauman's Theater.
Well, there you
You
go. I
see,
guess
I did a
we
little.
need to find that ticket.
Gotta find it. First premiere ever. I did a little research for you, Matt, because I was just enthralled and talking to you yesterday, going through it, and just wanted to do a little research. So
So this one doesn't count, Howard. That's Robin Hood. Come on, man.
it's really cool. I gotta tell you, Matt, it's awesome. Rudy, you showed us the Rudy. Would you rather have the Rudy premiere or the actual Rudy game ticket, Notre Dame versus Georgia Tech, 1975?
I have the game ticket. I have the ticket with Rudy and Aston signed that they actually did the filming. I have the screening ticket. I also have an invitation to the screening that has a picture of Rudy and Sean Astin on the front. Sean has signed it so far. I'm waiting for a Rudiger signing, and that'll be slabbed soon. So I almost have all that covered.
Wow. Amazing, amazing. Last one. What's the longest red carpet at a movie premiere? I'll give you a clue. You talked about it tonight. It's a more modern, it was a book, a series,
Probably Harry
became
Potter.
Harry Potter. So it's Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, quarter mile red carpet in London. So
Wow.
cool stuff. I had to research a little bit today, and I was on eBay looking at movie tickets, and I'm just like, if I start going down this road, I'm gonna get divorced. So I'm gonna leave it to Matt Miller. I'm gonna talk to Matt Miller. I'll send people that have stuff to Matt Miller, and I'll enjoy it through you. So really appreciate you coming on and talking to us and educating us, Matt. Really great stuff. Matt is at Eclectic Collect on IG. So make sure you reach out to him if you got any questions on collecting movie tickets or if you got anything to sell or trade. Matt's a terrific resource and a really nice guy. So thank you again for coming on, Matt. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Howard. I appreciate it, man. God bless.
Episode 28 of Stub Love Live. We're done. Thank you very much. Be well, everyone. Have a good night.